Hello? Can anyone hear me? Jeez, I didn't go on. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Jeez, I didn't go on. Yes, okay. We hear you now. Sorry. Well, you didn't hear my rant about Can you hear me? How okay. You didn't hear my rant from the very beginning about how there's a chill in El Paso. There's a chill. Even though it is so hot there, you could fry an egg on the road, but there's a chill because people are sick and tired of these lies being peddled, the misinformation being peddled, and and absolutely the murder of Richard on Fort Bliss, all the lies being peddled around that. Of course, this is day 1420, and I'm sorry, normally I check, but you know, normally I check, but we're talking about 1,420 days since Richard was murdered, probably more, but it doesn't change the amount of days that it has taken that no way should have taken this long. But because of the lies being peddled, the information being peddled, the murderers being defended, the murderers being covered up. And when I say murderers, absolutely, I mean more than one. And I'm talking about also the Walmart mass shooting case. Because absolutely, at this time, I got information for several days now that in Juarez, Mexico, 10 people in one day were brutally killed. You're talking about like medieval times brutally murdered, right? When the United States gets a cold, then Juarez gets pneumonia. We're talking about this kind of level of, just being totally sick and tired of the lies because people are being hurt. Child trafficking is way up, way up. I mean, it's not enough that they're making like $87 billion in the drug trade, right? They're doing the children. They're trafficking the children and they're creating child porn. And Richard was reporting it. He said to me, Mom, it's so bad. Don't even ask. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't want to be an NCO because look at when we met with the command sergeant major Jake Jakovitz. He told us like it was nothing that they were bringing in girls during the COVID, meaning pimping out girls, pimping out girls during the COVID. What is it? Do they have some kind of gray market going on? And of course, nothing could stop the gray market, right? Nothing can stop their stream of dough. Is that what he's saying? They legitimate small businesses. are being destroyed, but they're bringing in girls during the COVID. So, you have a 14-year-old girl living in the barracks being pimped out. People are sick and tired of this. And everyone that has given a little bit of time to read the articles, to put it together, I would say you would need, what, an hour? 1 hour of time. Very quickly, just looking at the pictures, just listening to these witnesses, and even with the small amount that we have, because they've gotten rid of a lot of the witnesses, testimonies on YouTube and that, but just looking a little bit, you absolutely know that the Walmart mass shooting was orchestrated, that Ernest Christopher Grant was peddling lies, just like Danae Katzen was peddling lies, just like Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia was peddling lies, just like Leilani Hart was peddling lies, and got Bob Moore. Those are my sources. These convicted criminals, the likes of Danae, you have to understand, his sources are Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia and Leilani Hart and Danae Katzen. That's who he's using for his sources. Right? Leilani Hart. Oh, I believe Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia. That's who he's using to peddle lies. Right? And Angela Kachurga for KTEP with UTEP's right with him. And David Candelara of KTSM rolling out the red carpet for Danae Katzen. In regards to Richard's case. Absolutely, they're connected. Absolutely. And we're supposed to say, oh, thank you so much for arresting Danae Katzen. No. Her arrest lasted less than an hour? She got a special bond because her contact, her other, part of the, I guess, a criminal network, Luis Rene Diaz, the office manager for Bill Hicks, the usurper of the prosecuting office for El Paso, he's a usurper. We're so tired of his lies. In open records, he's saying, I am the appointed, elected DA. Appointed, elected? You don't even know what you are? You're a usurper. You are a trespasser. You are a criminal who is blocking the prosecution of the Walmart mass shooting, right? Along with Joe Spencer, with a defense attorney like Joe Spencer, who needs an enemy. We don't even need the prosecutor to be peddling misinformation with Joe Spencer, who's just collecting the dough and letting his client sit 5 years without asking Judge Medrano for one. Hey, Judge Medrano, we need one scheduling event. You want to do a mental health evaluation on my client? Because he has a mental health condition, and it's not just a mental health condition. It's a severe mental health condition. He could never have done anything that they're saying, right? But Joe Spencer doesn't even do that. He doesn't even bring Patrick Crusius out so people can see that he's not capable. That he had to wear ear protectors just to walk in. There were no shells in the parking lot that shot Memo Garcia, that shot Alexander Hoffman. I mean, the lies. We have murderers walking for the Walmart mass shooting, murderers walking for Richard. Richard's murder, a U.S. Army soldier on Fort Bliss, and we are told that he was murdered in uniform. I'm so glad you didn't hear my big rant earlier. I've calmed it down since my speaker went on, right? Since my microphone went on. Yeah, you know, we are so sick and tired of them peddling. I hope you saw my meme with them peddling lies. And it's just Danae, Rosa Maria, and Lalani, and we're letting them destroy the whole criminal justice system in El Paso and on Fort Bliss. And Lalani's out there bragging about it, that she has so much power within the CID and within the FBI that she can influence investigations. And they use her as a source to retaliate against a witness in the murder of Richard, saying, yes, they are tampering. The CID, the investigation from the CID office on Fort Bliss is botched. They are leaking Richard's file. They are tampering with Richard's file. And Lalani Hart has been given, unauthorized access to do it. So the one witness and here's Tavita Nusa claim that he absolutely hurt someone badly. And they just want to scrub it. They want to hide it. Marlon Soto Hernandez doesn't even initiate internal affairs complaint. And you know what else he did? This is breaking news. He contacted Lalani Hart and Tavita Nusa. Hey, Tavita buddy. Hey, Tavita buddy and Lalani Hart, the sweetheart. The sweetheart for, whenever you want to roll in the hay. You're being investigated. Or, there's a complaint against you. You can't do that. Because then there's a retaliation issue, right? So Marlon Soto then, contacts Tavita and Lalani to let them know that a complaint, an official complaint, has been submitted, and then all of a sudden the witness, the witness whistleblower is being retaliated. Excuse me, I think there is a motive why he's being retaliated. And Bob Moore and Angela Kachurga and David Candelara from KTSM, they can't even put two and two together. They have to use these convicted criminals that, confess that their family is, committing felony crimes like, child pornography, child rape, ongoing pedophilia, incest, illegal weapons purchasing, that she's admitting that she has immigration issues. And that's not in the news. That's left for Team Find Richard Halliday. That's left for Team Justice for Richard Halliday to reveal night after night. And Marlon Soto doesn't even initiate an internal affairs, just notifies them, gives them a heads up. Hey, let me give you a heads up. And so retaliation grows. Retaliation continues. It's not enough that they retaliated against Richard, that they retaliated against Glendon Oakley Jr. Sorry. They retaliated against Asia Graham. They retaliated against Austin Hawk. It's not enough that they, retaliate, and we have dead soldiers. They have to let the CID and this, who is this convicted criminal, the mother of Dallas Hart, Richard's platoon leader, and associate of Danae Katzen in the LDS, right? The LDS friend, who's, uh, oh, my Jonathan, he's in the army too, and, he gets disability. He gets disability. Oh, I'm a disabled veteran. I don't have to pay. I can buy the $400,000 house. I don't have to pay the taxes on it because as a disabled veteran, I get a tax break. Yeah, we are so sick. This is, I just want to thank everybody out there that gets it, that absolutely gets it. And I heard today really good news that they are sick and tired, that there's a chill in El Paso in this heat wave, right? There's a chill, even though there's a heat wave, because people are sick and tired of being hypnotized, being fed, uh, false narratives, that all this misinformation, false witnesses are all being peddled over and over again to enrich the criminals, the cartel connected criminals. And they absolutely are cartel connected criminals. And that's why there's like a turf war going on over there in Juarez. And people are being killed. 10 on Monday in one day. And not just killed, brutally killed. It's not enough that they brutally killed Richard, that they took his body and they dismembered it, and and we're supposed to say, oh, thank you for arresting Danae Katzen. Thank you. Oh, she got to spend 30 minutes with her friends over there, before she got the bond. No, she has a long record. So does Lolani. And, I'm just convinced that that record needs to be looked into on Dallas Hart. And Jonathan Ambriz, he had open warrants and yet gets big VA loans. And whose identity is he using? Is he using his? Because I don't know what bank. Well, is it West Star Bank? I don't know. I don't know who's giving him the loans. Because if Lalani Hart and Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia is being used as sources by El Paso Matters of Bob Moore, that's connected to El Paso Community Foundation, which is connected to West Star Bank. And we're sick and tired of this criminality allowed to, traffic our weapons, traffic our children, to destroy our small little businesses, destroy our community, our families, our national security by allowing this kind of collusion between the cartels and, those that are compromised in our military to hurt our soldiers, to make their lives miserable in the barracks. Absolutely, the barracks are miserable. To make life miserable in the military, serving in that beautiful ancient city, El Paso, Texas. The potentiality for all kinds of wonderful things is there, but we have a usurper in the district attorney's office. We have the likes of El Paso Matters and KTSM peddling misinformation, using misinformation peddlers, con artist peddlers like Danae Katzen and Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia and Leilani Hart, uh, convicted liar, using them as sources, the very people that are causing, bragging that they can affect the law enforcement community and how they handle cases. And here we are at 1,420 days. There is no excuse. No excuse. And, April 24th, that was a big day, 2024. The government, the United States government, the Department of Defense, the U.S. Army declared Richard murdered on Fort Bliss. The notice of death. Why? They didn't just pick it out of a hat. They looked at the evidence that you provided to us, all of the hard work that Justice for Richard Halliday, Team Justice for Richard Halliday put into this, and we documented it. We identified together the crimes, we documented it, we backed it up, we sent it to all the agencies. They looked at the evidence, and it's so overwhelming. It's way beyond a reasonable doubt. Do we have it all? No, not yet. I don't think we'll ever have it all. We don't need it all. We don't need it all. We have enough. We've had enough. You need enough beyond a reasonable doubt. And we have it. And that's why we received the notice of death. And since then, we have received even more. This whole thing with Jonathan Ambriz, being from Bliss Avenue with Danae and Belen Rocha, being connected to Leilani Hart and Dallas Hart, being connected to David Candelera and, and Fort Bliss, wearing the uniform, and wow, and Danae coming and targeting us. We have it beyond a reasonable doubt that Richard, absolutely strong, beautiful, aspiring to be a CID agent, saw things, reported things, documented things, turned it in, was talking to Houston FBI, was talking to DC, was talking to the CPS, was reporting the trafficking. We know that Fort Bliss was being audited. And a diversion happened, and it's called the Walmart mass shooting. And it was quickly put together because it was put together very badly. Very badly. Even with Chris Cuomo, even with Beto O'Rourke, even with what was her name, Donna Sifford, even with them coming in, and I don't want to put her in the same lump, but even with a top agent like Ernest Christopher Grant, it was badly done. There's no soda on Patrick Crusius. There's not a drop of blood on Patrick Crusius. Patrick Crusius had clean shoes. Patrick Crusius uh, uh, couldn't distinguish between races. He surrendered to a Hispanic law enforcer. A Hispanic. Oh, it's me. It's me. I did it. Yeah. 5 years later. 5 years later. Not one thing has happened by Judge Medrano. Not one thing. And we have a usurper as the district attorney. The prosecutor cannot do one thing. We have an illegal in the country illegally, unqualified for the position of chief medical examiner, touching, being in charge of the remains of the Walmart mass shooting victims. Every one of those autopsy reports, the manner and cause of death, are unreliable, are botched. Are botched. And you know, that's why I'm saying to those that have been involved in this cover up, have been involved in the botching, because I think the DA's office is already getting it, because they just sent us the open records that show absolutely, we're still getting our mind around how Luis Rene Diaz became the office manager when he, in my estimate, seemingly, apparently not qualified, and, you know, bypassing any kind of background check. And being connected to Danae and Rosa Maria and David Candelera, was an associate with David Candelera at Univision, along with Arturo Alba, who he was arrested with, who ended up being shot to death. That's absolutely connection to organized crime, seemingly, apparently. And so you have people that want this to continue, that are rubbing shoulders with these people, with these criminals that are ruining the lives of the El Paso community, you know, the progression for the future, for great things. They're just trying to bring it down with one death after the other, crimes, all the trafficking, everything, all the taxes, all the bonds being, you know, forced robbery through legal theft, legalized theft, ruining people's lives, making them have a hard time to pay for their property taxes. Where does it go? Being shafted by the agencies that they're paying taxes for. Yeah, absolutely. Richard was reporting. Um, and when they could not destroy his credibility because he was so beautiful. Of course, I'm saying that because I'm his mother, but I have proof. Did you see the video of him being face to face with the enemy and standing at attention? answering all questions honestly, not giving one bit of a hard time, being absolutely beautiful, sweet, so sweet. I have proof. And when they could not destroy his character, they had to murder him. Because what were they going to do? Apologize? Apologize for their evil criminality? It was an inside job on Fort Bliss. The murder of Richard Halliday, the distinguished honor graduate that they can never mention. They don't want to mention that. They want to um, they want to just smear. The distinguished honor graduate for basic training in AIT, who aspired to be a CID agent, who loved law, who reported trafficking. And it was so damaging to them with the audits that they had to orchestrate a mass shooting. But we'll try to affect the population and their minds and the election, and divide people, call it a racist hit, and all their peddling of misinformation, very evil misinformation. And when that didn't do it, and the death of Glendon Oakley Jr. didn't do it, they had to kill him. And it was an inside job. And he was healthy, and he was strong, and he was a black belt in karate. So they had to figure something out. And we're told that he was murdered in uniform. In uniform. And it was brutal. So anyone trying to cover this up, because we have enough. You might say to yourself, oh, but they don't have this, and they don't have that. They don't know this. We have enough beyond a reasonable doubt. And we're getting more every day. Time is on our side, because there is no statute of limitations for a capital murder case. And so, if you are involved in this in any way, I suggest you come clean. They gave us the notice of death because they knew that the evidence was there, way beyond a reasonable doubt, that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss footprint. They knew. And if you've been given an immunity or a plea deal, Richards is an international crime scene. Remains were found in Mexico. We have that confirmed. This is an international crime scene. That means that that plea deal, that immunity doesn't apply to Texas. I'm no lawyer. I don't know what that means for what they did in Mexico. I don't know. But I know it doesn't apply for Texas. And Texas has a capital punishment. A capital punishment. And if you're bold, if you're brazen, they don't like that. I suggest you come clean. Come forward. Can you imagine 1,400 and like what it was at 18 days when I think before that, a few days before that, all this stuff with, oh, we arrested these con artists. Wait a minute. You're not telling the whole story. You are peddling misinformation. Danae Katzen and Jonathan Ambriz are much more than just con artists or fraudsters. There's history there. Do not rely on the media to tell you the truth and the whole truth, or even to attempt to tell you the whole truth. They are political. Their job is to direct your thinking and cover up for this criminal network. And we have been sharing information. We've been sharing information with them that we don't share on our live streams. So they have no excuse. We have the receipts, as they say today. We've got the receipts that show that they have no excuse. And so we've been telling the community, the criminal network there, it's been documented, and I do this live stream because it has to go out. We just put everything out there. And I don't know if you heard me say this, but Marlon Soto, did I say this already? Marlon Soto, he failed to do an internal affairs on the whistleblower complaint. And then what he did is, when the whistleblower complaint came in about corroborating, really it was corroborating and confirming what we were telling them, that there were leaks, that there was tampering going on, right? That something was going on. And then all of a sudden we got the details through the whistleblower that Leilani Hart and Tavita Nusa, the CID agent, Marlon Soto's buddy, associate, were the ones doing it. And that Leilani Hart was getting the unauthorized access to tamper with the file, to leak the file. And when that happened, Marlon Soto not only failed to initiate an internal affairs investigation, but he also called Leilani Hart and Tavita Nusa, or one or the other, or both, to let them know that a complaint had been filed. That's so evil. Because what was the next thing that happened? Retaliation against a whistleblower. It's not enough that Richard lost his life being retaliated against a whistleblower, but then our whistleblower in this case, was then retaliated against. And who did it? Bob Moore, David Candelara. With who? Convicted criminals, unreliable sources. Leilani Hart, Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, Danae Katzen, the peddlers of misinformation, the peddlers of deception. That's who they used for their sources. My goodness. Marlon Soto. Marlon Soto. You're one that needs to come forward. You've done very, very bad things. Very bad things. Hurt so many people. So many people. In the military and in El Paso. What? For what? For the child trafficking? For the child porn? For the narcotics? What for the money? For the weapon trafficking? That's what you like? That's what you want? That's what you want for your children? You've done very, very bad things. You're the dirty and disgraced Marlon Soto now. That's who you are. The dirty and disgraced Tavita Nusa. That's who he is. Dirty and disgraced. My goodness. People sell their souls, right? Sell their souls. But we have enough. And we have given everyone a chance over and over and over. Over and over. Yes. And at the same time, we want to know what happened to Richard. And we did not think that let's just say, take it lying down, that people are smearing Rich, unjustly smearing our beautiful son that has proven over and over again what a hero he is. What a hero Richard Halliday is. And when people talk about Richard, they'll say he was a hero. He was a hero. They won't say like what they say about Marlon Soto, the dirty, disgraced Marlon Soto, the dirty, disgraced Tavita Nusa, the dirty, disgraced Dallas Hart, the dirty, disgraced criminal network. They're going to say that beautiful hero, Richard Halliday. I think it's time to come clean. Legacy means so much. People put such little value on legacy. I don't know why. It means so much. I mean, we have a whole history of sainthood, right? Because legacy means so much. And in today's world, people will throw it away. They don't even care. All right, let's read some of this. Yeah, I believe you can file a federal claim against all officers. Those chose not to do the proper investigation, in my opinion. Absolutely. Richard Halliday is a hero. Yep. Absolutely. You know, we got the proof. We have the proof. And I'm really proud of him. You know, yeah. Okay, everyone. I wanted to talk about really Dallas Hart and Jonathan Ambriz being in the army, being in the army, um, wearing that uniform, and being the suspects of the murder of Richard. I'll leave that for tomorrow. There's so much information coming in, and this was really important to let everyone know that I received, well, we received information that there was a chill in El Paso and in Juarez, that they know that the Walmart mass shooting was orchestrated, that they know that Richard was murdered on Fort Bliss, an American soldier murdered on Fort Bliss, that there are security breaches everywhere because there is a criminal network involved with the cartel, and it is causing havoc. A chill. They know it, and they're sick and tired of the peddling of misinformation and lies. So we want to say thank you so much for listening and for sharing, because that could not have happened without everybody talking and sharing this information with the community, because there's been very little truth coming from Bob Moore. Very, very little truth coming from KTSM. Oh, Danae Katzen is a con artist. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit of truth. Okay. But there's been very little. So we want to thank you so much for working hard to get the message out there. Please comment, please share. That means we're having these victories, and with every one of these victories, like the notice of death, a huge victory there, because we haven't even began to start, because of all the other things going on, to assert our rights as the parents of Richard, now the murdered soldier on Fort Bliss. We have to assert those rights and get the answers for Richard, for our family, but also for the community, for our military, for our national defense. You know, the ramifications is huge. And so this is really important. Thank you so much. God bless you. And we will be back tomorrow, God willing. And I'm sorry about my media, but anyway, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Thank you so much. God bless you. Until tomorrow.